I read this book, The Road Less Traveled. It was published in 1978 by M. Scott Peck. I read it when I was about 18 years old, and it's one of my top 10 books that shaped my character. Though I learned a lot from it, there's two major things that I'll focus on. First is discipline, and the second is love. Discipline is critical for success and happiness in life. I learned about the power of delaying gratification. It convinced me that I needed to put in the effort in life to get the reward in life. It wasn't that I was lazy, I just needed someone to pound that message into my brain. This book gave me the power to stay focused on the hard work involved in accomplishing anything worthwhile. This reminds me of a quote that a friend later told me, which was, "Pain is a partner of growth." Now, I started applying discipline at university when I would make a point of being at the library every Saturday at the moment it opened. I set the habit of doing my homework first thing every day. And a second way is that I applied this after each university class. What I did is I sat down at a desk in a quiet area and I proceeded to rewrite my notes from class while reviewing the chapter in the book that the professor had just covered. In my professional life, I recognized that hard problems were real opportunities. This is because people do not want to do the hard work to solve hard problems. I like to repeat a saying that I made up, which is, love hard. It reminds me to embrace things that are hard, push through them. Because if they're hard, then I know that most people won't do them or compete with me in that area. Love. Well, love is what drives spiritual growth. I learned the concept that love is not a feeling, but rather an action. That was a little bit odd. As Peck explains, love is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another person's spiritual growth. I learned that when someone says something like, well, my mother loved me so much that she did such and such for me, that this may not actually be love at all. In fact, their mother may have been satisfying her own need rather than furthering the child's spiritual growth. I also learned what we call the myth of romantic love, the idea of falling in love. What I learned from later books is that there's a biological process that goes on when you meet someone you like. Call it attraction. This is the power that brings us together and furthers our species, but it should not be confused with true love. As Peck said, true love is action, discipline, and love. That's what I learned from this book.